Hey, what's up everyone, this is Baljit from JK. Welcome on my channel. Today we are going to work with the Nissan Titan 2005 5.6 liter two-wheel drive 8-cylinder. I have an issue with this Nissan Titan. My oil gauge always shows high pressure. I'll show you what I mean to. Let's go inside first, see what we're working on. As you can see at the high. If I turn the key off, it will go to low. That's telling me my gauge is working, reading something, but reading high. So for this one, first thing you should do, check your pressure sensor. So I will be doing that one, disconnecting the pressure sensor, see if this stay always low, because if sensor is disconnected, it show always low. Or we try to replace or something. So now the time to troubleshoot. So I show you where the pressure sensor is located and then how to get it. If you go to front of your truck like that, not on the burner but underneath, over here there's oil filter. We always change the oil filter here. That sensor located near the oil sensor. What we have to do first, we're gonna remove this plate covering the stuff from the bottom. This one has 4 screws, 10 millimeter. I'm gonna remove off the camera, then we will look into. So I have removed the cover already. Now we're gonna get underneath and I'm gonna have a good view so we can see where the sensor located. Okay, now I'm underneath of my truck. As you can see, I have a filter over here. Next to the filter, if you can see here, that's the sensor. So you see the round thing? We have to put a socket from the side or something. Here we go. You can see a little bit more clear. I'm trying to, because when I want to know, I've seen a lot of video, but there's not exactly show how to get to, but I can see only sensor. That's the round thing. First, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try to reach it to this plug. Let me put it front. Okay, so like this plug, I'm gonna disconnect this one and see what it read. It could be the wiring issue. If not, then we're gonna change like this one. After I put some socket, I'll see what size is it, and then I will mention in a video what size of socket. But right now I'm gonna disconnect this one, see what happened. What I will also do, I can go get from AutoZone and disconnect this one, connect to the new one, see what it's reading. That's something like kind of troubleshoot, or it's not that expensive, you can just replace it. Now let me I have to do off the camera because I don't have enough room. I cannot do both things, but I'm gonna disconnect and see what happens. So now I was able to disconnect my sensor. As you can see, I have a plug here. I checked all the wiring and everything. If you have some electrical knowledge, probably you can check for voltage. There's a 3 wire. One like wire bring the voltage, the second one is takes I'm not sure how that sensor works. Probably it produces some kind of resistance when air or pressure goes in, something like that. So now I have it disconnected, then my gauge shows always low, which means tells me the sensor was the issue. Let's see, go in. I'm gonna put a key in and turn on. So now it doesn't move, and also give me light here. So which means tells me this needle doesn't move anymore. So basically that tells me that my sensor is bad probably. So I'm gonna go get one new sensor and then we will replace. I tell you what kind of socket and what kind of tools we need to take it off. So after 4 or 5 days, I have received the sensor already. So today we will be changing sensor. But before you change sensor, make sure that's the right part for you, because the mistake can be happen. If something went wrong and you have done a lot of work, it doesn't fit, you have to do everything back again. And make sure the plug fits to your truck, even you have order right part. And second thing, I don't have a socket for this one. I was thinking if I have like a deep long socket, can go over the connector here and I can turn easily. But I'm not sure how I'm gonna do. I have to manage something. I have to remove old one and put this one. To remove all the one, first we have to drain all the engine oil, and then we will be able to. If not, you can take it off, but oil is gonna be come out because oil pressure goes here. I'm gonna connect this one to my connector where we remove the old sensor, and I will check what is reading. Then I will blow some air here and see if it's reading pressure. Make sure before I put it on, the sensor is actually working. Then we will do it. So now, as you can see, I have plugged in my new sensor to the plug. All the sensors still there, and I'm gonna see what needle reads. Before, it also give me light about the oil, like there's no oil or something. It read open, and also pressure stays all the way low when I have a disconnect. And when we are going to change, we have to change sensor, we have to drain all oil. I will say if there's a due oil change, you can change oil. We also gonna replace that filter inside, and we will do full service too. Now let's see what the needle reads now. So needle still reads low, and oil shows there's none because there is no pressure. I do off the camera because there's a lot of work to make sure the sensor is working. You can do as long as the sensor fits. I will say you can trust on a new part and install a new one and see what happens. I will make some test, then I will put a new sensor. So now I'm gonna remove the old one. To remove old one, we have to drain all the oil, and then we will install new one, see what happens, if it's gonna fix our problem. So another thing I will say, before you drain oil, just to make sure you didn't drive your truck for like a couple hours, because the oil gonna be really hot, and then you can drain oil. If you just drive your truck right now, and that oil could reach to like about 200 degree, and be careful. So I removed that oil feeding cap from the top, and I have an oil drainer. I'm gonna put it under, and then we need a 14 millimeter socket to remove that nut so we can drain oil. Over here, that's the nut we're gonna remove. Now I'm gonna wait to drain oil. As soon as oil drain, then we will remove oil filter, and also there's a hose side of the filter we have to remove it for easy access. So to access behind it, because I don't have a socket, so I have to remove this hose, goes top of the oil filter. I was thinking that's the oil pipe, but actually this one carry cooling water, probably making cold, like cooling the oil from here. So basically this have a cooling water, so we have to drain all the cooling water, then we're gonna take this hose. So what I'm doing, I'm draining in a bucket. If it will be clean, I will put it back. If not, I'll get the new one. And it's also time to change the cooling water. Okay, now we have removed the hose, and we can clearly see that sensor. That's we're gonna remove. So finally, I was able to loosen out their sensor. So I'm gonna just spin it, take it off. There's oil draining, but I put this drain cover underneath. Okay, here is both sensors side by side. That's the old one, that's the new one. It could be possible like old one just plugged or something and reading high pressure all the way. There also can be reason your oil filter is plugged or something, but my oil filter I have changed recently, so I'm sure it's not an oil filter, it's this one. So I'm gonna change this one. To remove this one, I will say you really need that socket because there's not a room for other thing, but I made my own tool. You can see I have this wrench, and it was like about a 9-inch, and this mouth is about like a 1-inch. I was not able to spin inside. There was a lot of pipes, shaft stuff, so I have to cut it from the back to make it work. But I will weld it later. But anyway, I have to fix this thing. So I got done with this one. Now we're gonna put the old one and change oil filter, put a new oil, and we will test it again. So now we have a finished changing sensor. I just go a little bit. Finished changing sensor. I have a changed oil filter. I put a hose back. I also put a new oil stuff ready to go. And here we go. After like that, before engine start, there's no leakage. So just to make sure. What we can do, we just clean it out from the bottom. If there is going to be any leakage after engine start, then we will notice. Now let's we start engine. We check how it shows. I'm going to take one thing back. Earlier when we have a connected only sensor, I was showing there was no change. Actually it was my mistake because I just realized right now, even everything got fixed. I have it tested. It still shows the same because we have to start the engine to make actual see if it's gonna work or not. Let me put my camera on the side, see if we can see clear view. As I say, I don't have a big experience about the car or something. I know common things like just the basics. So based on that one, I was trying to fix it. And earlier when we connect just only sensor without installing, I put key in, so we were still seeing that low oil or no oil, and this was needle was on L because the first sensor was bad. So anytime I turn the key on, it go all the way on the high, so that means my sensor was bad or was reading high. But in this case, now we're gonna start the engine. That's the way actually we're gonna see the real if we got a fix or not. So now I have started engine. As you can see, now needle stop at the middle. If oil gonna be low, then it's gonna be go to the low side. If it's gonna be a little bit high or high side. But in my case right now, I check oil level, everything looks okay. Now we are good to go. We have fixed the sensor. We replaced the sensor already, and as you can see, it stays in the middle. So I will say, if you don't start your engine and you turn the key on, it shows on high side, then most likely bad sensor. So today we have a fixed Nissan Titan 2005 oil pressure sensor, shows high. After starting engine, I turn off so we can hear clearly what I'm trying to say. After you fix everything, start your engine for a couple minutes and make sure there is no leakage, no leak oil, anything. Then we're gonna put the cover underneath, and that's all. That's all for today. Thank you for watching. If you like my video, please like, share, comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching. Meet you in next video with the new topic.